Sup mates, and welcome to Alex Tries to Eat by popular demand. A couple of days ago, I ran out of my favorite cereal, Leap and Lemurs. It's a gluten-free, peanut buttery chocolate, kind of like Reese Puffs, but kind of depressing cereal that I eat because I am unable to eat gluten. I have celiac disease, so the choices are limited. I went to the shop to pick up more of my beautiful Leap and Lemurs, and lo and behold, they didn't have any. So I got some other off-brand stuff, and the next week I came back and still none. So I did what I always do in this situation. I complained. I told Facebook, woe is me, how horrible life is. And Facebook listened. And a friend of mine came back to me telling me that there exists a gluten-free cereal that I'd never heard of before. Tim Hortons Timbits cereal. Now, for those uninitiated on what Timbits are, I have to assume you're not from Canada. They are effectively the ultimate party snack food. They're these little, I think in America they call them donut holes. In the rest of the world, I don't know if they exist. But basically they're these little dough balls with different flavors, and they sound, simple enough. But the cultural impact of these things, you can get them everywhere, right? Tim Hortons is everywhere. And they make the perfect food to bring to any kind of party. Birthday parties, wedding parties, funerals, office parties, anything. You bring Timbits, you're the star of the show. Proud part of our Canadian heritage. Seeing a cereal based on this. Now, first of all, I didn't know about this. That blows my mind. Second of all, it's gluten-free. Timbits, very gluten. This is gluten-free. I can eat this. So, I had this yesterday, and my mind was blown. It was, it was good. It was actually really good. I was kind of expecting to be disappointed. It has this interesting flavor. It's first of all, incredibly sort of strong in terms of smell when you open it up and you pour it out. It's just like your entire kitchen will now smell like chocolate. And while I was expecting this sort of airy kind of, not necessarily cakey, I wasn't expecting it to actually be like a Timbit because, it's a cereal, it's got to mesh with milk. But it had this marshmallowy flavor and texture that I didn't expect. In fact, it tasted like Lucky Charms marshmallows, but kind of toned down and feeling a little bit more like cereal. I think the best way I can describe these is chocolate flavored Lucky Charms marshmallows and cereal fused, which was a very interesting experience. And I think if I was a kid, I would go mad for these every day. But as an adult, I found like the sort of sickly marshmallowy candy like texture or flavor to it. I enjoyed it, but I probably would get sick of it after a couple of days. So I'm going to pace myself on these. But this is a win. I'm actually shocked. Now, there is another thing that I found at the grocery store while I was looking at these. And by the way, if you're interested, this does come in chocolate and birthday cake flavor. I was planning on trying them both, but they didn't have any birthday cake in stock. I have to assume it's vaguely the same thing, just without the chocolate flavor. So, I did find one other thing, though, at the shop. And so I went to Facebook, I told them, oh my god, this Timbits thing is fantastic. Gave them the full review, and by popular demand, everybody was like, wow, I wish this was an unboxing review. And you know what? I was saving this one for today. I was just gonna eat it and tell you about it, but the people demand a video. So welcome to my first ever unboxing video and my first ever food review eating video. I don't know what to call these. If you're here expecting mukbang, no. So Tim Hortons Café Mocha cereal. Now, I'm celiac, of course, so I basically can't eat anything at Tim Hortons anymore, which is heartbreak. Technically, I can eat their hash browns, but that's also the most disappointing item on their menu, so basically I can eat nothing. What I can do at Tim Hortons is I can drink their coffee. And their coffee, oh my. Now, a lot of people will say it's the worst coffee in the universe, but they drink it anyway. It's the lifeblood, it's the fuel of the working class of Canada. And I'm going to get very poetic here, or maybe I won't, because everybody has a very strong opinion about Tim Hortons. I really like their coffee. If you don't, take what you will. Café Mocha, obviously, half coffee, half chocolate, hot chocolate rather. I have no idea what to expect here, so I guess no more delaying and into the thing. I did actually pop the box and then I stared at it and I was like, shoot, I should be making a video. So I apologize you don't get the sound of opening cardboard. But I did not pop the plastic. Now this is something I never do, but I am going to sort of take the whole thing out and examine it because this is an unboxing video and you gotta unbox something, right? So right off the cuff, it's very obvious, very similar sort of cereal to the Timbits. They look, whoop, one of them fell into my bowl. Just gonna throw that back in. Anyway, I don't know how well this is gonna come across on my camera. This is the Timbits, this is the Mocha. Very similar, this one's clearly a bit darker, so there's probably a bit more chocolate on it, which makes sense. I mean, this is an actual chocolate flavor compared to the Mocha of the other one. And what strikes me, the Mocha one has actual marshmallows in it. Now, not like actual marshmallows you'll get like, you know, as like anything that would call it a marshmallow, but like cereal marshmallows, right? I don't know how much it's coming across, but those little light bits are these little hockey pucks that look like mini marshmallows with sort of like a brown dusting over it. I assume it's the same sort of mocha flavoring as the rest of the cereal. So what do I expect from this? I expect probably another Lucky Charms-y kind of flavor to it. If you've never had Lucky Charms before, I can't actually think of a single other cereal that does that kind of thing. Mostly because I'm actually not that well versed in a lot of cereals. I ate a lot of a single kind of cereal, and then kind of switched every couple of years. So I don't have a huge breadth of knowledge in the sugary cereal world, but if anybody knows any sort of similarities to other cereals, you know, be sure to post them. One thing I do notice, the plastic bag is of a particular material that I noticed. This one is of the same material. It's a really nice plastic for opening. Now, a lot of the times with a cereal bag, you know, you'll pull on it, but it'll be thick, it'll be gummy, it'll like, you know, sometimes if it's the early morning, you haven't done anything yet, you're still half asleep, you know, you might pull too hard and the whole thing will explode, cereal will fly everywhere. You know, sometimes you staple it, sometimes you just accept that this is your life now. But this particular plastic I actually found was very, very nice. You just bundle it up, open it up. There is no resistance, well, at least no significant resistance. It's perfect. You get the perfect hole every time. I'm a fan. Oh, wow, that's not the smell I was expecting. Okay. This smells like a Tim Hortons cup of coffee. This smells like walking into a Tim Hortons. It's exact. And as somebody who spends a lot of time fawning and considering whether to hand their soul over to Tim Hortons, this is a very familiar smell to me. Now, it's not exactly like a coffee, it's very clearly like the mocha. You know, you have the chocolate in it. Whereas when you walk into a Tim Hortons, you're really just smelling the coffee because, you know, that's obviously the big ticket item. But yeah, that's very strong. It really does feel like I'm sitting in front of a mug of Tim Hortons mocha. You know, get this on the shot so it's a little bit more. Look, branding. Hashtag not spawn. Is that the cool, like, classy thing to say? Or trendy is the word I was looking for. None of this is sponsored. I genuinely just like this. Or at least I think I'll like this. I mean, I like it so far. I really liked this. I like that it exists. I like that it's gluten-free. That still blows my mind, that it's gluten-free. Gee willikers. All right, so let's throw some, well, do I try here, let's try it dry. I never do this, but you know what? You gotta get the full experience. So let's try a dry piece of Tim Hortons Café Mocha. And much like most cereals, you really don't get the full sensation of it when you just try one single piece of dry. But I do notice it is remarkably similar thus far to the Timbits. It is very sort of, it does have that sort of, it's a cereal, but it has that sort of underlying sort of flavor and just a hint of the texture of that sort of Lucky Charms marshmallow. I had to actually try Lucky Charms marshmallow. Yeah, that's actually, I was expecting it to just be a marshmallow through and through, but I'm gonna try this with milk. I think I'm gonna get more of an experience with milk because when I just tried the marshmallow dry, there just wasn't enough there. It just kind of fell apart. So let's milk that up. I'm not gonna eat the whole bowl in front of you. Just take a couple of bites to get an idea. Bone apple tea. It's a much milder flavor than I was expecting. Because with this one, it was almost overpowering. It was very sweet. And it was very chocolatey. This one is pleasant. It's not kicking you in the face. It kind of feels, now this is kind of a funny poetic way to put it, but it feels like a more adult version of the Timbits cereal, which based on its branding and its style almost makes sense. It's not weak. I think it really is that Goldilocks zone of like, it's flavorful, but not kicking you in the teeth. And the marshmallows, I actually was expecting to feel like a distinct difference. Like when you have a mouthful of Lucky Charms cereal, I keep comparing it to Lucky Charms because that's what it seems to be most similar to. I wonder how intentional that is. It's Post. Is Lucky Charms Post? I don't know. Everything's Post or General Mills. Is General Mills Post? I don't even know. Anyway, so yeah, I was expecting like with Lucky Charms, you get a mouthful of it and you can feel distinctly, this is the cereal, this is the marshmallow. But much like a proper Café Mocha, it really mixes together. It does feel like you have a drink, a sip of mocha with the marshmallows just accentuating it all and kind of giving this sort of offset flavor. Now, this doesn't feel like I'm drinking a mocha, as well it shouldn't, because a mocha is a very strong flavor. At least if you were to translate it to a cereal. But I really think that they ported this in the best way that they could. Maybe a little bit less, because the cereal still has that marshmallowy texture, which it's interesting, but I'm not a huge fan of. Hey guys, pardon my intrusion. This is Alex from the future here with a couple of extra notes that I forgot to mention. A couple of technical details with cereal that are very important to me that I actually, you don't usually notice until you're done your bowl. The effect on the milk I found actually to be fairly nice. It's not quite like, a Nesquik cereal or even the Timbits cereal where it leaves it a very chocolatey, kind of feels like you're, drinking chocolate milk. But it does leave the milk in a decent, slightly chocolatey, slightly coffee-like state that was pretty, pleasant to finish off. And what's most important to me, a lot of cereals, including my favorite, Leap and Lemurs, will leave the sort of last dregs of milk to be like full of like powdery nastiness or like sort of like shriveled up small pieces of cereal. That doesn't happen with this one or the Timbits one. They actually stay very firm, stay together, so you won't have any sort of dregs left over in the bowl. Just a couple of things I forgot to mention, so back to you, past Alex. But overall, I'm a fan. I don't know if this is going to become my new regular, but it might. Tim Hortons Café Mocha. Definitely better than the Timbits. That is pretty clear to me. And pretty darn good overall. I just glanced at the nutritional facts. This is probably really bad, but I didn't pay enough attention in gym class to really know the breadth of how terrible it is. Is 12 grams of sugar bad? Per 30 grams of, oh, oh yeah, that's a, okay. Yeah, well that's probably true of every cereal, right? I never check these nutritional facts. Oh, it's even worse in the Timbits, which makes sense. It tastes sugarier in the Timbits. Sugarier? Does that work? Anyway, thank you all for joining me on this wonderful adventure through eating cereal. I hope that there are other cereal aficionados in the comments section, I suppose. And if you are, you can find these Tim Hortons cereals anywhere in Canada, I hope. I don't know where they are. I got them at my local grocery store. Hopefully they're at yours, for your sake. Have an excellent day, and see you later.